Welcome to Overwatch. God, it feels so long since I last said that. Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to something a little bit different. It's not too different, though. I cast a couple of scrims done in the Scrim Central Discord channel with Ryan about a week ago, and it felt right to just upload these to the YouTube channel for you guys to enjoy as well. I'm not going to go on too long in the intro, but if you do want to join the Scrim Central channel, then there is a link in the description below, so go click that and you should be able to join that Discord. It's a nice community. They try and organize at least once a week some sort of scrims, setting up teams to just face against each other. Most teams are around the Diamond to Master sort of mark, but I'm pretty sure if we build up enough teams, then enough people can play around with it. There's also generally a requirement to have a couple of subs in every week, so don't feel like you have to make a team just to take part. Anyway, enjoy the cast, guys, and hopefully, well, I get to see you soon in some proper videos sometime shortly. Bye! Well, okay, this is it. Like, let's just get the show on the road. Casting mode is engaged, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to some community scrims brought to you between basically the OneAmongstMany and the Overwatch Central community. Sort of got together, made a Discord channel, and started playing against each other more and more. More and more people are getting involved in it as well. It is absolutely great. Joining me today is Ryan from Overwatch Central. Say hello, Ryan.
Hello.
Hi, Ryan. And it looks like we are getting started here on Hollywood. So if you aren't familiar with what we're going to be doing here, we're basically just casting some community games and having a good time with it. These games are basically for people to practice stuff, to try things out, to have some fun, and get a taste of 6 versus 6 gameplay in a kind of a safe environment and have a good time doing it. So it looks like we're getting started on Hollywood. Probably one of the more popular maps in the meta. I quite like it myself. Definitely looking forward to hopefully seeing some dive combat. It looks like that's what we're going to be seeing out of South Pole Friends on the red team on the offensive right now.
Yeah, this map really is... It almost feels like a lesser of two evils with some of the map pool choices in stuff like Apex springs to mind, where it can sometimes be put in with maps like Eichenwald, for example, so they do prefer this one. The second point is really interesting. You have a lot more verticality, and certainly playing on a dive composition for the South Pole Friends anyway. Like, it should be really good for them if they can push past it. It's looking like they want a full hold with a Symmetra 6 PM, so really it's an unstoppable force, immovable objects here, so let's see which one sort of pans out best.
Yeah, I'm going to be curious to see how well Titanium can do on the Roadhog especially to try and stop this dive. Let's jump on board with the Winston, just see where he's going to go. Winston, I think, has a lot of control over the direction of where a dive's going to be, so it's going to be important for clearing out some of these turrets. Looks like that's what they're going to do, just try and get rid of them as fast as possible, and then start pushing up onto the higher ground. We've got Valinor right now just going up onto the higher ground, poking away. Noxvice actually gets a kill on the Zarya nice and early. That's a huge loss. Zeta as well, coming in up and over the top, getting himself one kill. The monkey goes down, and that's probably going to be enough for this dive right now. Yes, they're trying to pull out, and that's bad news bears, because you generally want that first dive to go really well, especially against the Symmetra.
The main sort of problem that I can see happening for 6 PM on the defense here is that Off-Colored and Toby, I suppose it would be Toby, are playing very far away from the two main tanks, and on dive this could be a bit of a problem.
And Death's coming in already. Rocket's just raining in, gets himself some kills, and just instantly stops any aggression again. Just getting punished for peeking, and it's a surprise to see Winston go down from that distance.
It's a great shot, but what I was saying before with the Mercy and the Symmetra is they want to be sat with Titanium. They want to basically be sat inside of his shell, because if a Winston dives on them and they're just on their own, it could be a really big problem. So they want to make sure that they're staying together, but they obviously have the ZX on Farah for mobility for the Mercy at least.
They're still poking them. I mean, they're still so hesitant. Titanium gets himself another pick on the Lucio. It's just stalling out these pushes again and again and again. They're not sort of grouping up properly. They're getting poked down. They're getting picked. And as such, they've basically spent this last minute just sat on their hands, not doing anything. And the timer is ticking down.
Advantage is looking more, but here comes the push.
Yeah, Winston's just jumped right in, straight in, right into the hands. Oh my god, Valinor though comes in, the hero jumps in front of that Roadhog shot, deflects it, kills the Roadhog as a result, but he goes down, so a brutal rocket there. We have Kakugo coming out now with the tactical vibes, but everyone's already been cleaned up, it looks like. Just poor Zenyatta in the back, goes down there, no problem, their rocket now, trying to get onto the Zarya. If you can take out the Zarya, it's going to be pretty huge, but nope, she manages to survive that little bit longer. Not going overly greedy there, and managing to hold on for, well, another push.
Yeah, two-man res on the high ground brought Titanium and ZX back into the fight. A couple of wasted ults there, but they do have, I think, yeah, it's the teleporter up as well, so they're sitting comfortably. If they have a couple of people die, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. We're certainly playing a dive comp against a Roadhog who is now on the low ground. That's to fight one-on-one with Zarya whilst Nox is trying to protect himself. He goes down, and the advantage is looking closer to the attacking team now.
It could be swinging it right back though, especially as death starts coming in slowly, and Zeta still has free range here. This is sort of one of these issues with the dive, but meanwhile we do have the Dragon Blade coming out. Valinor pulls it forward. Can he get more than one though? He gets himself the kill on the soldier, but not before Zeta just swoops in and kills him, and this is sort of the problem they're suffering. This pharmacy combo is doing so much on the back of these fights. Winston dives in, but Pharah's just floating above him, raining death from above, and just gets a nice quick and easy kill.
It's a nice easy map for a Farah to play on defense especially. You got a little bit of high ground that you can sort of dip in between when you need to, but when you play dive against this, vanilla has changed to a soldier now at least, but play dive against this sort of very mixed composition that would work on the baddie as well. It's really difficult for them right now.
And you can see Valinor going in there, trying to focus on that Farah, trying to get him down a bit. There we go, beautiful shooting there, gets the Farah, gets the Roadhogger right after as well. This is the best opportunity they've had so far. Rez comes out, does pick the Farah up, but she's stuck on underneath the alcove there, can't quite find the space, and goes down to Valinor once again. He killed the same person twice in a row there. Soundbarrier comes out, blocks the sights coming out from Kakugo. Can Kakugo find an angle, maybe get something done? No, we also have the Grav coming out, picking up the entirety of the defending team. Liana now finishing off on that Transcendence, but Zeta actually has come back now through the teleporter, drops the barrage, gives himself a double kill, picks that up on the point, but it's just two supports now left, and I don't think that's going to be enough. Titanium doing his best to hunt down this poor Zenyatta. Zarya trying to get rid of him. Now he finally goes down. Now it's overtime on the point. The teleporter is still up though. Noxvice comes back onto the point. It's just him on his own. He is getting a little bit surrounded. They've got to try and get rid of him before more support comes through this teleporter. However, it's overtime. Oh my god, Earthshadow goes down. Catches two, but not before the Reinhardt goes down. Reinforcements now definitely coming in. It's looking good for the offensive.
Yeah, there was a bit of a risk there when the Grav was used from Selby. You had Selby sort of holding people on the front of the point, but then Clive diving the supports in the back. But now, eventually, it just seems that, off-colored is now on Lucio, the teleporter's up, and this point has been taken eventually by Vanilla and the rest of the South Pole friends.
Not a moment to spare, ladies and gentlemen. Taking it in overtime, just managed to sort of get the momentum in the fight. Not enough quite coming through the teleporter all at once, basically, to cause them enough issue. Shadow was good, but there was just no follow-up, and when that happens, it's so easy for Reinhardt to go down. We're on board with Fabi right now. He's going to be looking for an angle, maybe to try and get this pulse bomb, but as the enemy team takes the high ground, this is where Tracer could definitely struggle a little bit. And swapping off that Genji earlier could actually cost him a little bit there. We have Kakugo picking himself up a nice kill. He's almost got tactical vibes already as well. He's got a great angle here, uncontested, and this is where this high ground team from the defenders is just going to do so well.
Yeah, they're really disciplined when it comes to using high ground. You know, the shot callers, the in-game leaders are basically shouting at the team to get on the high ground. They need to use it. And now that Kakugo is up on the high ground, taking damage, you've only really got what was the Winston on being able to get onto the high ground with ease, but now Clive has changed to Reinhardt, and they're just trying to push through this high ground battle.
Yeah, they're just going to be trying to sort of brute force it. We have Kakugo coming in with a high ground advantage, though once again, he's also got a damage boost on him. No, there we go, Mercy's moved on to something else. He's actually only gets 2 off the back of that Shadow Visor combo, but it's still more than enough, and now they're just on cleanup mode. Zeta and Kakugo definitely having a good time here, just annihilating the remaining support here. Poor Lucio can't get out, down he goes, no problem there for the defenders, and it's looking pretty goddamn solid for them. That said, on the offensive, there is a Graviton Surge coming soon, hopefully.
Yeah, they just wanted to make sure that things were cleared behind. They're not really playing a flanking team anymore with a double hit scan. They just really want to sort of death ball through this point, but again, Kakugo is just going to sit on the high ground, damage boosted by Mercy. Zetex providing cover and fire, trying to sneak in. Looks like he wants to get an ult in when he can. Here it comes, gets a double kill, but just sort of takes off Fabi at the start of that, and finishes off Clive as well. This just doesn't look like South Pole fans are going to get anything from this now.
No, I mean, that push was over the moment Zeta, I think, got basically a free barrage onto the back line, gets 2 kills, doesn't get taken out as a result, so there's no real trading involved. That said, there is now an opening, Zeta overextending a little bit. Valinor just punishes him for it, just takes him down. This is an opportunity for them to actually gain some ground, maybe try and get something off the back of this. Hammer down coming out, Noxvice. Oh, he gets launched into the air, but not punished for that as well. So the launch on him was good, but no barrier comes out to block the damage. Valinor now has to run for his life, punches Reinhardt to death. Titanium pushing people back. The point is just barely being contested. Let's try and get a camera on that because it is in overtime, like he points out. The man himself, there we go, sound barrier. Now just poor Zarya trying to dance for her life down to you guys though, Titanium taking that out, and I think Rodo's going to be enough to stop anything coming in just to get there. Retro Penguin, can you make it? No! No, you cannot.
It was a really good earth shatter by Noxvice, not necessarily for getting a lot of people in it and killing them, but people like Clive who were trying to force for the point had to turn around to deal with him. He just provided a really good distraction which is something that you definitely don't want when there's like 10 seconds left to go on the point. Luckily, I think it was Selby actually managed to run onto the point, used the self-shield, but quickly went down. There was just no chance that they could deal with all that damage coming from different fronts.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you're just desperately trying and hoping that, I don't know, some freak accident takes out the entire enemy team in a single fell swoop, but you might as well try, right? Otherwise, you just lose outright.
It was a shame, really, because they went for dive on the first part of the attack and then changed to something a bit more conventional, sticking together, just pushing through whatever 6PM had to offer. But then once they got this checkpoint, I was surprised not to see them jump to dive again, especially with how important that high ground became, especially when it came to Kagago, just literally standing on top of it, uncontested, and ZX was just free flight in the air. Even a double hit scan didn't really do much in that sense. So it was just a real shame not to see the dive competition come out then, because I think it could have been a solid option for dealing with any high ground problems.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of my favorite things to talk about in Hollywood, but that transition between the first point and second point, you'll often see pro-level teams just change up their team lineup completely as they go into that transition. They need something that can get to high ground. They need something to really contest that area, because if you're just trying to brute force underneath it again and again, and Soldier 76 is being the cool guy and just shooting down, it's gonna be a complete nightmare. That said, I do see some interesting picks coming out here, where we have a Torbjorn.
It was just a bit conservative, because they got the point in overtime. I guess there wasn't really any confidence to go, right, let's jump on them. Because you see a lot of teams take the first point with dive or anything really, and then just completely breeze through the second stage just because they have that forward momentum. But because of how little time they had, they just didn't want to risk it. And in the end, just didn't want to move off the payload and push any ground ahead of it.
We have Soul Support, Torbjorn, and Symmetra going against what looks like a sort of a Pharah-oriented variant of the dive comp. There's a turret in its usual cheeky position. You're just getting a tiny bit of free charge there. You'll sometimes even see Torbjorn just basically, once the turret gets spotted, they'll instantly start building a new one just to make sure there's zero time at all for people to react. Zarya gets hooked though, goes down nice and fast. This is a good chance for the defense to hold on that little bit longer. They desperately need time to basically build up the armor and shields that they're going to need to hold on that little bit longer. That said, Zeta is going to be relatively uncontested, but everyone has gone down already, so he's forced to back out, pulls Mercy back out with him. Good first hold, and it's looking okay now for the defenders.
Yeah, Selby and Linen's communication has to be spot on here, because she's sole support. You can't really risk dying in that situation at all, especially with the point being so close after the first checkpoint, that they really need to take care of their support. They're hanging back a little bit too much. I feel that if they actually try to dive through, it's going to be a problem. But
well, the teleporter
actually
is
gone
now
for the shield generator, yeah.
Oh, shield generator's up. So yeah, they're going for like the 350. Oh my god, that hook onto Genji almost gets him. He barely manages to survive. Dashes back out though. Does manage to last that little bit longer. Let's see what Zeta's up to. He's trying to get around the back as well. They're trying to find an angle here, but this is where this kind of dive comp is really going to struggle. They have so much health. They're so durable that the fights are just going to drag on and on and on. And even with that solo healer, I mean, even if you kill like some of them, Lianon's sit there with a res now. That's going to feel pretty good for Lianon. And the longer these fights go, the worse and worse it's going to get. They need some hardcore bursts here to get rid of some of these targets. It looks like Zeta's going to try and find that shield gen. He's found it, but he's getting minced by these turrets. Almost gets it. No, Fabi comes in with the save. Man of the hour, buying the shield generator a little bit more time.
I'm watching Retro Penguin, like a penguin, with the nest basically protecting the shield generator as if it was an egg. I can't believe how many turrets have been set up just to protect that area. You know, you could be putting them in the chokes, putting a bit of trash damage into the enemy team, making it harder to push through, but no. All the eggs are in one basket trying to protect the teleporter, but so far it's working. Yeah,
it absolutely paid off there. Zeta definitely couldn't finish it off and went down as a result. That said, we have the grab coming in. Is there any combo following in? Dragon becomes, I think, did I hear it come out? No, but there's the res as well picking up. It looks like he went for the Mercy, didn't manage to quite find it. Now Molten Core has been activated as well. It's going to make it very hard to clear this off the point. Zeta's the only person alive. Res comes in, huge res, picks people off the point. Molten Core still running. There comes the TAC visor on the ground though. Let's see what he can find. It's Fabi shooting down Titanium, and it looks like Fabi's just going to clean up Pharmacy in the air. Definitely not able to last long. Fabi with the save.
The tempo of the attacking team is a little bit off. I think Lianon ulted there because, you know, Kikuko was right on her tail trying to kill her. She just wanted to get somebody up. A couple of people had died. If she was about to die, or how they felt themselves, it was just, they wanted to get it out, but really the kills did sort of follow after that. I think with a lack of Lucio on the 6 PM on the attacking team to make sure that they can sort of chase us up is really hampering them now.
Zeta's gone back for the shield gem, but it's dropping dangerously low. Gets hooked out of the sky as well. Turret protecting it even more. It's absolutely a nightmare. We also have Kakugo now on this Hanzo, maybe trying to get some picks, but Hanzo, as well, my friend Mr. Anonymous will tell you, against 350 hit point targets, does not have a very good time. And if you look at the health bars in the top right corner, you can see almost all of the defending team has 350 or more hit points. That's going to be a big task for this Hanzo to get anything done. Meanwhile, we have Celebi hanging back. Down goes Kakugo as well on that Hanzo. No more sort of Hanzoing, no more arrow nonsense coming out there. Clive, barrier dropping a bit low. It looks like Zeta's going once more, maybe for the shield generator. No, he's just going to wait for a barrage, probably try and get onto the Mercy, but instantly sniped down by Fabi and the turret. None of that nonsense. Jesus, the shutdown.
It's so difficult to push through, but they keep pushing through the same way. It's the whole, I can't remember the quote now.
What, forcing
crazy,
a fart?
I suppose. No.
Oh, the definition of insanity.
Never expected, yeah.
Yes.
But they're constantly going through that way when they can sort of hook around, take the turret out quickly. But I think they're missing that speed boost, and with as much health as the team, ZX tries to ult, it really doesn't get anywhere because Fabi has ulted herself, top trumping, full hold, fairly straightforward in the end. It didn't look like it was going to be a great attack for them, but their defense, full hold, they fully dedicated to a full hold, and it actually paid off.
It really
Spectacularly, really.
Wow, yeah. I mean, once that first push goes wrong and the Symmetra especially gets the momentum going, the shield generator, I mean, is a bold choice, but once it starts rolling, 350 health on everyone is just a nightmare to deal with. It is so difficult to get rid of. So, well, you know, player of the match goes to Valinor. He was providing armor like a machine. Let's see some hot Torbjorn action, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully it's just him hammering a turret. Looks like he's getting rid of Zeta there. Goes on the Mercy. I actually like this division of damage. Kills the Mercy off as a result. Turret doing work on the point, helping keep that shield generator running, providing armor for his team. Valinor pulling it out on the big T-Dog himself. Well played.
The team lineup, the composition was really nice. Of course, it's scary when you're playing a team like that against quite an aggressive lineup. Or, you know, like if Mispa's in the team as well, especially, they like to play very aggressive, like to force the fight on the supports first. But the amount of health that they had, it meant easy healing for Mercy, which means that her res was up a lot. The armor, the shields, the fact that you have a Torbjorn and like a Roadhog on that team as well. It's just so much to kill, and it was really difficult to just push through that choke anyway without sort of almost dying in itself. But not only that, you just can't really get to the back of them because it's like getting through a rugby team, really. They're just really big, bulky characters, and you can't take them out with Hanzo's pea shooter, especially at the end.
Yeah, not with how tanky they were. Anyway, guys, that was the first game. Thank you for joining us. Turning caster mode off now. Right.
I would ask for a pause because I actually really need a wee. Which is
I'm not admin.
A poor excuse.
You just go.
Pause. Yeah, you've got this.
Yeah. He needs to learn. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to lovely Kings Row. If you are just joining us, these are community scrims. Basically, the Overwatch Central and the OneAmongstMany community are formed into various teams today. Well, right now, at least, we have pretty much a bunch of 6amongstMany. The only name I don't recognize is Oki Owl, which I think is filling in for Lobata because he's busy, and also Zeta is joining the team as well to fill in for some DPS. And he's on support at the moment, actually, which is interesting. Yeah, he's filling in for Mithrander, I think. He's usually on this team. So yeah, we got Zeta filling in as well, because some people couldn't make it. We are here on lovely Kings Row, and I think the other team is the South Pole Friends. I think they have some fill-ins as well. Proximity is filling in on their team as well, so hey. But basically we're here in lovely Kings Row. The teams are about even, actually, if I double-check my little list here. South Pole Friends rated about, 3k, about Diamond level. 6am is about the same, but 6am, which are the attacking team right now. These lovely chaps here, they have been playing together for a little while. We're probably going to start out on P. Clark, playing my favourite hero in Widowmaker. I can hear Ryan coming back because I can hear his chair creaking. Hello, Ryan.
Hello.
Just in time. We're going to be opening up here.
Sort of a mix. I don't really. I guess this is more 6am.
It's mostly 6am on the attack. And in South Pole Friends, yes.
South Pole Friends.
So we've got P. Clark on the Widow. Widowmaker, well, I really like her on first point King's Road, just to sort of open up, maybe get a pick or two. She has a lot of different angles she can take. She looks like almost gets Leanne in there. Reinhardt dropping his barrier very boldly. Just looking, peeking, trying to find something. Boom! Down goes Valinor in the back. That's a huge DPS loss. Now can we see Artie on the Solid 76 perhaps find an angle? He's got the golden gun. He's just jumping up and over, getting around the Reinhardt barrier, getting into the support. It's good. Rocket going down there onto the backline as well. And you can see in the distance, in the long distance, you see Valinor sprinting his way back into the point. But meanwhile, on this point, pressure is just being applied as Reinhardt charges in. Doesn't quite find anything, but Zeri barrier does come in there. Artie also on the high ground shooting from behind. Point is already being taken, ladies and gentlemen, as South Pole Friends force back. Artie raining death from above, gets Selby, finds himself a single kill there as the two tanks now facing off with each other. Proximity trying to force his way back on the point, does get knocked back. We also see a flashbang coming out on Jimmy, just going to buy him a little bit more time, but they're not looking like they're going to contest this point. They've got to do something now. Proximity charges in, gets cleaved down on the way in. Down he goes. It looks like, yes, flashpoint falls in really good time.
Precision German engineering from Artie, who managed to flank all the way around. Good pressure from P-Clack to just keep it on Proxy. Proxy was in the middle of nowhere, stood by the Mondetta statue, not protecting anybody, and that was something that they've practiced on the training ground, obviously, because that was just nicely taken. To the point that Proxy had to get onto the point, had to do something. They lost a couple of people, but really, 6 AM should be pushing this a lot more than they are.
Yeah, because P. Clark, he's thinking, he seems to be considering, you know, can I poke out somewhere, can I just find a little bit of an angle? It looks like they're going to try and brute force down this barrier a little bit more. Let's jump on board with Artie. He's almost ready to go with attack buys, and they've already got the payload all the way around the first corner as well, so no first corner hold here, and the barrier is dropping dangerously low on the defending team. Good, and the grenade goes down, but still a bit. Ice Shadow comes out, doesn't really get too much in the back line though, and I don't think it's going to make too big of an impact. Counter Ice Shadow comes in, here comes the Nano Visor as well. He got one, got two, got three, ladies and gentlemen, got himself a fourth, and was big on the fifth as well. Artie cleaning up there, beautiful combo, just paying off absolutely wonderfully there. No issues at all pushing through the streets phase on King's Row.
Yeah, the Earthshatters weren't the best. It was really sort of difficult to hammer down some of the kills if you could get it, but the Nano Visor was perfect, picked off everybody that they want to. Vanilla's going to try and contest here, deflex, but really can't stand a chance against the hammer. I think the mass of it is a bit too much, but they are going to try and contest it.
Clark deleting the Widowmaker. There's the grab though, but not too much follow-up. Clark gets another deletion. He, not Clark, sorry, Selby just getting another kill there. Artie, only one surviving, managed to get a kill, but he might be a bit outnumbered here, getting chased down by Reinhardt. He's sprinting for his life at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, but he might just be able to get away. 3 hit points, going to get the health back. Yes, he can. Can he actually get out? I think he just might do it. I think Artie has managed to escape. Holy shit, well played. Artie surviving that a little bit longer. He's still getting chased down by this Genji though. Valinor might be able to get the kill. He's got the health pack on him right now, and also supporting him. Just still survives. This man will not go down. Now we're looking for C. Sepher drops the sound barrier, but gets taken out the sky by the enemy Lucio. Oh no, he did manage to get the sound barrier out though, but it might have actually just been a poorly tummy. It might have been saved by not actually putting that barrier on, because Jesus, they are not ready to push right now. Valinor almost ready with another Dragon Blade as well. Should be looking to get rid of this Widow. She's so low. Down she goes. Gets Artie as well. Easy cleanup. And now it's just poor Zari, who's running all the way back to the first spawn. Love, your spawn's in a different direction.
That's what I mean about the sort of aggressiveness. They had an opportunity, they took it. It's really difficult to sort of look at a Lucio sometimes and go, that was amazing, like, such a play there. But the Yannon there, amazingly timed sound barrier to get on the point and contest it, where it was not looking likely. Oh my god,
they didn't take it. I thought they took it.
No, it was
they
not
held
point,
it.
not
wow.
hit. It was 8 centimeters.
Holy
shit. They managed to survive through so much. She's almost got, well, he's almost got her ult. He's almost got her ult again.
Valinor is just,
almost got
I
his
like
ult
this
again.
angle from Valinor. Oh my god, the Earth Shatter is absolutely huge. Everyone has picked up with it. And Valinor can't quite fight Artie. He's just surviving on his little health pad there. There we go, he gets help from the Reinhardt. Melee range buddies getting the kills together. Oh, that poor Lucio. That poor hippie hoppy frog. Not going to survive there. Genji's now back here. We got P. Clark also raining death from above, though. This could be a big issue here for this poor Genji. He's not the greatest pick as far, and it looks like they will manage to take it. Whew. Close
Being
fights.
the aggressor in some situations is good, like they did the first time, but that time they kind of just forgot the point. They couldn't stick together as a team. They don't really have any ults. Well, neither team really have the ults, but the Nano Visor is coming up, and that's going to be really scary and hard to deal with for the defending team South Pole.
Yeah, I imagine... hopefully what we're going to see is like a force down on the barrier and then maybe something big coming up. Proximity goes to the charge. Reinhardt is down. I think it's time, ladies and gentlemen. They've got him in the sight. Soundbarrier does buy some time. We don't see the nano boost coming out as well. It is also High Noon. Fabi calling it out. Gets one. Gets the Lucio. Doesn't manage to find too much else, unfortunately. Reinhardt's barrier is dangerously low, though. Looks like the McCree here might be able to do some cleanup. We also have the whole hog coming out from Selby. He's knocking the entire team back. That barrier is not going to be too long for this world. He has to drop it. There we go. And it looks like, yes, the defending team, South Pole friends, will hold on that a little bit longer.
In a pretty good spot to hold it as well. They can hold it on this corner where they are currently. They can push it back to the corner behind it, but they also have the payload to sort of cover some of the damage that might be coming in. Really surprised that the nano boost wasn't used on Artie in that push with the nano visor, but really there just wasn't enough of a push there. They could have taken that opportunity as proxy went down, but they kind of just wanted to make sure that the payload was chugging along, which I think was a bit of a mistake. It should have been much more aggressive.
Grab goes in, picks up absolutely everyone. Here's the follow-up there. There we go. Barrage comes in from above. Clark just scooping up the oldest wombo combo in Overwatch, ladies and gentlemen. The Graviton Barrage cleans up, does the job. P. Clark and Jimmy combining their DPS for hopefully a pretty clean push towards the end. We also have Clark now trying to cover the exit. Gets flashed by McCree. Down he goes. McCree, are you enough to save it? Oh, we've got the nano boost coming out. Down goes Anna. This is enough to get the Dragon Blade out. Dragon Blade is drawn, ladies and gentlemen. Takes down the Zenyatta as well. Both supports down. This could be the save that they needed. The swing back is in play as Valinor cleans up on the point. Artie just left on his own there. Down he goes. Valinor almost falling into the pit as well. Ooh, close.
It reminds me of the typical Saiyan thing where when they take a lot of damage they become stronger. They're like Southpole, the typical berserker team. When they've got their backs to the wall and they're struggling, that's when they play the best. We saw that on Hollywood as well. Like, full holds are hard to do in Hollywood, but they were like, oh no, you can do it. Sure, it's easy. We don't need to push it far. But now that they have to defend this final point, they don't have much to go, and they don't really have the ult advantage. Nanovisor again ready and waiting for the attacking team. They've just got to find a good opportunity to get it out here.
Oh, no, the rocket comes through. I think that was the deflect, yes. No, it was a fire strike even that managed to come through. So, ow, down he goes. That's going to be no attack visor. That push is done like dinner, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing can be done now. This poor Reinhardt can't get out either. Flashbang just holds him down. Zarya gets hooked as well. This is good opportunism coming out from South Pole friends. Again, like you said, the back's against the wall and they get some value, but they might be overstaying it just a touch as the McCree goes down.
They've got Sound Barrier ready and waiting again. Leanne so far has pretty well timed them. It's a really nice conventional lineup, but Vanilla is just...
Deflected fire strike.
Point, yeah.
D gets the Zenyatta. That was beautiful. Yeah, continue your point.
Just as a team, they're looking really strong once they can keep together as a unit, and they have flare heroes like we've spoken about with Vanilla, I suppose. Whiffed Earth Shatter there. Proxy probably doing the worst thing you can do in that situation, but it does work out.
It's High Noon. It's into the Transcendence. High Noon doesn't care about the Transcendence, ladies and gentlemen. He's trying to find the angle. Gets the Zarya. That's worth it on its own. He's managed to push the entire team back as well. They couldn't do anything with that Transcendence because Deadeye was just keeping him back. Now dueling with Artie, and the Farah just barely survives. Artie, though, has him in his sights. He's going for it. He's going large, ladies and gentlemen. Sound Barrier comes out. He's just buying team a little bit more time. Clark also going to the back. Does fire off the barrage. Gives himself one, but I don't think it's enough as now Selby gets the nano boost, gets the whole hog out. Actually, I don't think he had a nano boost there. But no, he can't have had a nano boost there, I think. Oh no, he might have had it.
He used it. Zertix's 1% on his ultimate, so it was waiting on for quite a while. I think that was the problem. There were a lot of opportunities where, and this is pretty much a thing that we see time and time again, both in the rank that we play, but also in the scrims as well, that it's key to highlight, is not pushing when they have the advantage and not pulling out when they have the disadvantage. It was just a really nice, solid defense. It could have looked a complete mess at the start of it. It did look pretty horrible, but the hold on the second point bought enough time, and it was just in a really nice, solid position for the third point defense, South Poles. But now they need to take this point, which can actually be fairly difficult to do against the 6 AM, PM, high noon mix that's going on. But I'm really looking forward to this.
I'm just getting a lovely...
interested if they dive it again, but from the team lineup, it looks like they're going a bit more deathball-y.
I'm looking at Mundata right now, and I'm just thinking... I mean, the Omnics were asking for it by putting a frickin' target on his forehead. I'm pretty sure Widowmaker just aimed for that central dot and got the shot. I mean, really...
Whack-a-mole.
Yeah, it's asking for it.
Like
Please shoot here. I mean, surely you put the central processing unit or something more inside, you know, his chest where it's safer. I don't know. Who built these Omnics? Shoddy work. Anyway, let's have a look at these team comps. Looks like they're going to be running the Symmetra for this first point. Honestly, on this map, I'm less and less keen on the Symmetra first point King's Row, because it's just so open and vertical that if they run a Farah or a Winston, he can just get in, clear, like either of them can get in, clear out the turrets, no friggin' problem.
I mean, it's a time for experimenting, but going off previous teams and times that we've played it ourselves and watched pros play it, it's not the map that you think, yeah, Symmetra's a solid pick on here. It used to be, when Mercy and Symmetra were a lot stronger, but nowadays, not so much. See how much ult charge that she can get from this situation. About 23, 25%, which is fairly decent.
It's not too bad. It's a good start. But Valinor is up and ready and poking around as well. Looks like they're taking the safe route through the cinema as well. Just scared perhaps if they have a May. They don't. No worries there. Looks like they're just going to take the high ground as well. Very patient as well. We're on board with Valinor right now, but he's not doing anything. He's just waiting for his opportunity to push around this hotel. Looks like he's finally starting to take it as they do get onto this high ground. But we do have sort of dueling happening in the sky with Clark. Raining death from above, ladies and gents, trying to find kills. Looks like, are they just going all the way around here? And yeah, they're going all the way around and coming out underneath. This is a long choke point to actually be trying to push through though. Clark gets himself one kill. Okiao scoops up another with the fire strike. Valinor though gets the better of the duels in the sky, but it might be too little too late as P. Clark blows himself up. A couple of turrets going down, but it's a little bit dicey. That said, I will say 6 AM have managed to put themselves all inside their little tiny choke point. Now they're coming back out with the aid of that Symmetra shield, and it looks like this push is about done.
Yeah, Southpaw Friends actually managed to sort of get flooded out from the back rooms. I think they tried getting on the high ground with Proxy, but really, he was the only one that was actually managed to make that jump. Should have probably dropped down with them, but didn't.
Going a bit
and
deep.
He got picked off on his own.
Has to be a bit careful here. Does drop it dangerously low. Will pull back. Will get healed back up. It looks like he's going back on RT. RT getting a couple of good shots on him, but will hopefully go down here just barely. Mercy actually comes up. Might be donating a free Mercy kill though. There's the res coming out in desperation. Nano boost does also go to the Farah. Down goes Clark in the air. This nano boosted Farah raining death down, just basically firing down a shooting gallery. Oh god, no! Here comes the sight surge. Just brilliant kind of push from the artillery himself, ladies and gentlemen, as he rains death out of that little corridor. I thought they were done. I thought they were done like dinner. Shooting down a corridor for Farah shouldn't be that difficult, but the Zarya barrier was there and it stopped the damage.
Happening was Oki managed to land an Earth Shatter on both the supports, killed them pretty easily, whilst Vanilla was trying to get as many kills as do as much damage, but in that time half the team went down.
Oh, this is...
And now they're looking for round 2.
Valinor actually doesn't spot out the teleporter while Clark just cleans up on point. I'm not sure what that angle was from the fire. Went through the hotel and just basically got minced by Symmetra turrets. They definitely knew it was coming. Didn't even spot out the teleporter, which is just there in the bottom of your screens, ladies and gents. So no issue for the defense there as they hold once more. And apparently time was a concern for these teams, and it looks like the full hold might actually be happening here. 1 minute 30 left on the clock. They've got to make something happen soon. Yeah,
it's always... This is what we mean when we said before about the things that you have to do to actually get the point becomes so much harder. See, Surfer has res waiting, the teleport's in. That was a bit of a messy push by Proxy trying to charge in. Played a bit too ballsy in this case. They don't really have enough time. They don't have really all the resources available that they want, but they're looking close to having all 6 ultimates raring to go. But they have to use them effectively because it's easy to just botch them up.
I mean, the question here is, like, what combo do they try and rely off? Do you put a nano boost onto Farah and hope that she gets a barrage off? Do you put it on McCree and hope that something happens with that? We do see the hammer down come down, but it's pretty telegraphed. That said, the charge does come out. It's a pretty good charge. Deadeye is ready and waiting. Can he get some kills? He actually holds onto it for just a second too long. Valinor, though, scoots up a double kill here on the Farah. He's dueling his rival Farah in the skies. Down they go, Fabi getting the shots into the air. Hammer down, though, coming out in the counter from Okiao. Just picking up a lot of kills down the point. Cleaning up, no problem there as a reinforcement spill out of the teleporter, and they've taken the point back once more. 25 seconds left on the clock. They've got to instantly try and make something happen. Proxy just waiting for his team to rejoin him here around the corner, so they're just going to be getting ready to go pretty much instantly here. 15 seconds left on the clock, ladies and gentlemen. This fight is all or nothing, and they're going to be pushing into RT, who's just going to be ready and waiting. Sights now called out, gets rid of the fire, one of the main sources of DPS. Proximity, though, gets a good kill here on the point. Grav does come up, though, scooping everyone on the point. Okay, just swinging his way through it, clearing up, and a res just to bring RT back for the victory celebration here on King's Row.
The attacking team had 6 ults up and used them all, not even in the sort of closing stages. It was a bit of a messy push, of course. The Reinhardt ult was whiffed right at the start, but from then I didn't see any synergy. I just saw ults being used one at a time and even missed some because of how they didn't sort of affect the team. But it's a shame they held the defense so well but just couldn't push through this attack. It's really interesting to see the Symmetra work on King's Row, so it's nice to eat our words now and again.
Yeah, I mean, she's coming around now, getting a lot of DPS out. Once that beam connects, she's so good for these cleanup situations, right? The DPS that she puts out is like 120 damage per second, and it does make it easy when, like, Valinor, for example, decides to take a detour going through the hotel and throw about 4 Symmetra turrets in the process, kind of cutting down a lot of fires out there when no one can really follow him, unfortunately. So that feels a little bit bad, man. Like I said, I'm still resolute in saying that I don't think Symmetra is the be-all and end-all in first point King's Row. Honestly, I think she's better in second point King's Row, believe it or not. Where in first point, you could just sort of get a Winston in, get a Pharah in, just clear out the turrets, no issue. While in second point, there's a lot more corners to play around with, and it's a little bit harder just to get those instant flanks. Anyway, well played by both teams.